Okay, good day. Welcome to the Great White North.
Oh, hello. Do you have a warrant to be here?
Well, gang. Conflicts of interest in Mark Carney with this carbon tax and all of his assets that he doesn't seem to be declaring. He gets into it here with a reporter from Global, a reporter from the CBC, who usually, back the liberal agenda. That's usually what their propaganda is about. Anyhow, that wasn't what was going on in this scrum. Watch this. Mark Carney freaks out at these reporters. Something to hide, looks like.
Levitt's Globe and Mail. We understand that you have now placed your assets in a blind trust, so you don't know what's happening to them going forward, but you knew what they were going into that blind trust. So what are they?
Look, Stephanie, I follow the rules of the Ethics Commissioner. I'm following them well in advance of any of the requirements, as you know, because I know you know this. You know that these requirements come into effect in months. We're talking days after I became Prime Minister. So I'm complying with the rules of the Ethics Commissioner, going through the processes and all these things that are necessary. And I will remind you, and I'll remind Canadians again, that the Leader of the Opposition cannot find it. And look, you look at the questions this evening, you look at the nature of the discussions, look at the nature of discussions I had with the President of France, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The Leader of the Opposition would not be capable of having those discussions because the Leader of Opposition refuses to get his security clearance.
So, Mark Carney, what does Pierre Poilievre, leader of the Conservative, leader of the opposition party, have to do with that question? This is a BS answer, Mark Carney. Keep it up.
Something that it took me a few weeks to get. And he has been the Leader of the Opposition for 3 years. So I comply with my responsibilities. I comply with the rules well in advance. And the Leader of the Opposition doesn't take his responsibilities at a time of, well, you should take these responsibilities at any time, but it's particularly remarkable given the stakes in global geopolitics at the moment.
The rules say that those assets should be publicly disclosed within 120 days, which means you'll campaign in a coming federal election, most likely within the next 120 days, and are serving as Prime Minister now, with Canadians not being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you sought to avoid.
What possible conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance.
Touchy, Mark. Point final. She was just asking a question, trying to follow up with, your initial BS answer. My goodness. Wait, it's just starting to get going. He's going to get cross at Rosie from CBC. Watch this.
Are you saying you are not open to any conflict of interest?
Yes.
Trump spent most of his life in the private sector. There's no possible conflict of interest in your assets. That's very difficult to believe.
Look inside yourself, Rosemary.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
I mean, you start from a prior of conflict and ill will. I have served in the private sector. I have stood up for Canada. I have left my roles in the private sector at a time of crisis for our country. I'm complying with all the rules. Your line of questioning is trying to invent new rules. I'm complying with the rules that Parliament has laid out and the responsibilities of the Ethics Commissioner. And I will continue to comply with those rules.
So, gang, yes, Mark Carney is very defensive, and Rosie and the CBC and Global better watch out because Mark Carney does know how to deal with the media that he doesn't really like. Watch this one. This is crazy.
Perhaps the most troubling is Carney's refusal to address his ties to Ghislaine Maxwell, the associate of the infamous Jeffrey Epstein, who has been accused of horrific crimes. He was actually a sex predator. So we came, we asked questions to the attendees, we got blocked, and I let you on the full report.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
This gang is from Rebel News. Big fan right here. You should like and subscribe their channel. They have interesting videos, to say the least. We're going to cover some clips from their report on how Mark Carney would had his detail just kick them out. It's kind of foolish, but they handle it in a jovial way at least. Let's take a peek. It's interesting. Watch this.
Did you register?
With media. Is there any poll of media allowed and not?
I'm not aware that this is into media.
Okay.
So just hang tight.
Okay.
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good, and you?
Good, thanks. My name's Adam.
It looks like for Mark Carney's security detail, when all else fails, you send in Adam Van Coverden. This guy is a clown, walks like a clown, talks like a clown, dresses like a clown. He's a clown. We're going to take a peek at this clip before we get back to the Rebel News piece. This is clips that we did last fall. It's interesting. It's pretty funny. Let's take a peek. Adam Van Coverden, you're a clown.
He didn't read the report. It's obvious, because on page 1 of the report, it says right here that Canadians will see a net gain, receiving more from the Canada carbon rebate than the total amount they pay in the federal fuel charge. Mr. Speaker, just flip to page 7. It's a bit long, I know. The Member of Parliament might have a bit of a difficult time with a document like this, but the meaningless slogans don't matter. What does matter is that, broadly speaking, our updated estimates show larger net gains for average households right across income quintiles in backstop provinces compared to the previous distributional analysis. If he's going to quote the book, Mr. Speaker, he ought to read it. It's right here. I can bring it over if you'd like. Page 1.
Just going to ensure that we, of course, treat all members with the respect and dignity that all members deserve. The honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes.
Well, Speaker, not only did I read the report, I actually paid some attention when I dressed myself this morning, unlike that scene over there.
The honourable member knows that order. Honourable member from Milton will take a seat. Colleagues, I've mentioned this before in question period that it's inappropriate to comment on the looks of any member, and so I do point that out. So I'll invite the honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands and Rideau Lakes to start his question again without the comments which the Speaker has risen to his feet for.
Speaker, not only did I read the report, I was able to make it past the first page, all the way to page 19 of the PBO's report that shows the true cost of the carbon tax for Ontario families, that it's going to be $1,400 more than they're getting back in their phony rebates. And Statistics Canada today revealed the full effect of the economic vandalism. All of these high taxes and economic wealth redistribution were supposed to make Canadians better off, they claimed, but instead we've seen the largest gap between the rich and poor that's ever existed in this country. It's time for a carbon tax election. Why won't they just give us one?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, I know that this is Friday, and I know that Conservatives just cannot resist every day seeking to plumb new depths of degraded nursery playground insults. But I have some advice for the member opposite. If he wants to insult a colleague for his appearance, never a good idea. Squiggle and squirm as you might, it is really hard to put lipstick on a pig.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Adam.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Cheers. Yeah.
We are just here to report on the event.
Okay, well, it's closed to media. It's not an open event. It's private.
There is no media at all, but I just saw, just right there.
My my friend. It's my friend Will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no media opportunity at all.
And you had to register in advance.
We did, but no one
I
said.
didn't see you register.
No one. What do you know why?
I didn't see any media register. I certainly didn't see probably media register.
Okay, but you don't know my name though. Do you know my name?
No.
No. Okay. So difficult to know that you didn't receive my email if you don't know my name.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'll see you guys out.
Hey gang, so Sweet Pea and I are pretty suspicious about our unelected Prime Minister Mark Carney. Doesn't seem to want to answer any questions that he hasn't given the reporters to ask him. Not what you like to see, guys. Well, how about Adam Van Coverden? What a clown, man. Imagine being a grown man that dresses like that. Who am I to talk? La la la. My name's Aaron, Canadian Looney. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a comment down below on what you think about Canadian federal politics. Again, thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you next time, gang. Later. In Canadian federal politics, the Canucks are represented by two separate yet unequal groups. The globalists who sold out and the opposition trying to salvage a country. These are their stories.